Hello there, I am teacher Noah Kendall. I am a senior at Penn West University of California, and I will be graduating with a concentration in pre-K to 4 education and a minor in musical theater performance. Through my years as a teacher candidate, I have been able to teach and teacher assist in multiple elementary classrooms and multiple musical theater and acting classes. Throughout teaching in these classrooms, a big asset of mine has been able to use technology in the classroom. Being a technology competent person is something that is very important to me, as I feel that technology will never stop growing in our education field and also just in society. So, being ahead of the curve and being able to access as many resources as possible is so important to me, which is why classes like technology and teaching and learning that I am taking at Penn West, California, is such an important thing to me. Throughout this final technology portfolio, I will be showing you all of the projects, learning, and more that I've learned in technology, in teaching, and learning at Penn West, California. One of the biggest things that I have been able to look at in this course is ISTE standards. These ISTE standards stand for the International Society of Technology in Education. So, these standards provide competencies for learning and teaching and leading in the digital age. So, the bottom line behind that is that these standards are going to be focusing on what is needed to teach the very best as we go into this new age of education that has a big focus on using technology to advance us. So these standards are all along the lines of providing information to students, educators, educational leaders, coaches, and ISTE computational thinking competencies. So, these all focus around the elements of empowered learners, digital citizens, global collaborators, creative communicators, knowledge constructors, computational thinkers, and innovative designers. And throughout my portfolio, you will be seeing how I connect these standards to the different projects and learning that I was given throughout this semester. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to my first project in learning that I was able to get. In my first project, a big focus was on digital citizenship. So, digital citizenship connecting to standards focuses a lot on equity and citizenship advocate. So, in this standard, leaders use technology to increase equity, inclusion, and digital citizenship practices. And educational leaders will cultivate responsible online behavior, including the safe, ethical, and legal use of technology. So, a big thing with this, in what I learned and worked on in these projects, was being responsible as an online person in my behavior, including the safe, ethical, and legal use of technology. That's the biggest use that I have within the standard for what we learned. And within what we learned and in the project, a big thing that we focused on was digital citizenship. So, like the title says, this term means a way of thinking, being, and acting online. It keeps you safe when communicating online, when distributing and absorbing online information. So basically, this is how we are able to interact with others, how we are able to absorb information, and how we are able to operate online. This has a big thing to do with also the laws that go into being an online presence. A big thing with that is copyright law, which is the idea that original works such as writing, photos, or music belong to the people who create them, and that you cannot use, copy, modify, or publish that work without permissions. So, with that copyright law, whenever I was working on projects within this class that included pictures, such as the infographic that I will talk about in a little bit, I included a reference section so that I did not assume rights to any of the images or any of the information that I included. So, a big other project that we were able to use was one where we First, we're given scenarios where we were asked, is this legal? We were able to dive into the copyright laws and decide whether this was a legal practice or not. So, this was a fun, engaging thing to actually get to apply the knowledge that we just learned into actual scenarios. Another thing was using an Adobe Spark video to debate the idea of safety versus privacy. So, safety versus privacy debates the idea of online information being accessed and whether that access should be private to the person who owns the account, or if the government should monitor these accounts and this information to make sure that someone is safe. In this project pertaining to this idea, we were asked to present whether we thought the government should or should not be able to have access to this information. Within my Adobe Spark video, I stated that personally, I believe the government should not have access to this personal information and that everyone deserves privacy over their own information. Because digital media has been a large part of my life since I was young. I use social media sources since elementary school and online educational tools that just became second nature to me. And, I would hate personally for my online work to be shared or monitored because it's personal to me and something that I want to be able to choose what I do with it and who I share it with. So if I want to share it or show it to another person, I want to have the right to choose who sees it, not have an outside governmental source looking at this information. So it was a great way that I was able to express myself through this video, and this video came from Adobe Spark Video. Adobe Spark Video is a great tool. It works through the application of Adobe Express, and it is used to create projects and is a great tool that allows you to create videos, presentations, and pieces that combine text, graphic designs, and more. So I wanted to show the website here of Adobe Express. As this pulls up, I wanted to describe a little bit of what it does. It allows you to create projects. So with ours, we made a video. In the video, it allows you to speak while also showing different graphics and designs, but also, as you see here, it has flyers, logos, banners, social posts, social stories, and even social ads. So it has many different things that you can use with it. And this one we only used video, but I think in the future I could use Adobe Spark with either video or in those posts to maybe raise awareness on social media. I love to post on social media about my technological ideas, about my teaching ideas, and I love to post resources to any followers that I have to give ideas on what I think works and didn't. And I think this would be a great way to post because with this Adobe Spark, it allows you to use bold graphics and designs to allow for captivating videos that would be sure to catch my audience's attention and would sure to catch any audience attentions that saw it. And I'm sure that my messages would be better heard if I was able to use this source to create videos. And so I thought this was a great way to make videos and was a great project to explore this software. The next project that we were introduced was the use of infographics. So, with infographics comes a lot of designing, a lot of information that you have to type out, but it is a very exciting way to deliver information. An infographic is a tool that creates graphic resources to convey important information like data and ideas. So, it is also just a way that you can communicate with others in a more exciting and eye-catching way, like the video that I was just talking about. But in this way, it's more of just a flyer, more of a document that spreads all these messages through words that you read rather than are hearing or speaking out loud. So, a great way that infographic spreads information is through applying teaching trends or current trends in society, and more importantly in this course was through education. So some current trends that I always see in technology in education are communication with online websites like Remind Me, which is a online source that sends out reminders about homework and assignment, and things like flipped classrooms, which allow students to receive curriculum through different outlets, such as in person or through their computer. But through something like an infographic, a trend that really caught my interest was Minecraft. Minecraft was a game that I used to always play, so I was very interested to explore the idea of the positive usage of Minecraft in the classroom. So through this project, we were asked to find a trend and explain it to an outside source through an infographic. So through my infographic, I explained Minecraft as a software, Minecraft in the classroom, different ways that you could use Minecraft in several different curriculums, such as geography, art, math, language arts, and also application and history classes. I used videos and also gave steps on how you can use it in your classroom. I thought that it was such a fun and exciting way to deliver this information and also research for myself. So this infographic was very helpful for me to learn more, but I felt that what I created would help a lot of others. But I would not have been able to make this infographic without the application PictoChart. PictoChart allows you to create these infographics and even more for businesses and different things. You can make reports, presentations, and banners. But for my usage, the infographic was so easy to make because of PictoChart. You were able to add different fonts, colors, themes, and they helped to bring templates and different design elements that made the whole infographic look even more amazing. I really love to use PictoChart because it had so many different colors, so much creativity, and it was so unique. The only part of PictoChart that I didn't love were that whenever going to share or distribute your infographic or whatever you created, it would sometimes cut off the side. If you look over to the right of my infographic, you can see that some of the words were cut off. This wasn't because of any of the design that I did on my part, but it was only because whenever I went to share the actual video, some of it got cut off. This may have taken some extra practice with using it. I am not absolutely positive, but that was just one problem. But other than that, I loved using it, and I thought it was such a great way to express a standard like being a connected learner. So if you look over at my standard, you can see that I expressed that the infographics connect well to have leaders model and promote continuous professional learning for themselves and others. And this helps in participating regularly in online professional learning networks to collaboratively learn with and mentor other professionals. So this infographic to me was set to show administrators or different teachers in an effort to influence them to start using Minecraft in different ways. A lot of people think that it's just a game, but through this standard, I hope that I express well enough that I want this to be something that I can collaborate with other people to show great influences that are outside of what we may think are the norms of teaching. I want to break that mold, and I thought this infographic was a great way to collaborate with other mentors and other professionals so that I could help them to the best of their ability to see the great influence that even an application like Minecraft can give. I think PictoChart is really a great way to collaborate with people as teachers, but also in just a community, such as if in a school setting, it would be a great way to distribute flyers if there was a bake sale or a talent show or different things like that. It's a great way to have an eye catching flyer and show people, oh, this is my idea. These are the great creative elements about it, and this is what's so exciting about it in a new, fun, unique, and innovative way. On to the next element was screencasting. Now, screencasting is something that I have been familiar with for a while and I love to look into. Screencasting is a live recording of activity that's happening on your screen, and a screencast allows you to show what you are doing and or working on through screen recording. Actually, what you are watching right now is a screencast of me on my laptop presenting you my portfolio. So you are seeing exactly what I am seeing on my screen. So using this project was a great way to learn more about different screencasting products and really allowed me to dive more into what the screencasting universe had available. So, different screencasting websites include Screencast-O-Matic, Loom, and Screencastify. And through these projects, I was able to look at the pros and cons of these websites. The big things that I found were that Screencast-O-Matic had lots and lots of amazing connections, but they were mainly with businesses and different social services. Loom seemed like it was more business focused, more for companies and people that were working. And Screencastify mainly was for classrooms and had a lot of classroom resources. So, with all that said, and with keeping my standard in mind, I chose Screencastify. I felt that Screencastify really helped me with the standard that I chose because in the standard, it describes that educators dedicate time to collaborate with both colleagues and students to improve practice, discover, and share resources and ideas and solve problems. I think that the biggest thing with screencasting is the phrase of discovering and sharing resources and ideas and solving problems as educators. And I thought Screencastify was great to do this and was the big focus of my project. Our project was to give a tutorial through screen recording or screencasting, and I use screencasting to create a screencast of a video of me showing how to sign into a Google Classroom. The video shows two separate ways that students or guardians can access the Google Classroom that will be used in my classroom. The use of accessing an online classroom is very important for students, in my opinion, because it is the home for all assignments, content, and assessments. So I thought giving a screen recording tutorial or a screencast would be a very impactful tool because it would ensure that students knew exactly how to access all the information that they needed. I can actually show you a bit of how my screencast actually looked. I won't show the entire thing. It is in a link down at the bottom, so if you type that exact link in, you can actually find the entire screencasting. But I wanted to show you exactly how it kind of looked. I started off with a little salutation, and as I'm just dragging along the video, I'll just show you different little parts. I
And
showed.
also, I sent another email. This other email should be titled Join Our Google Classroom.
So if you just heard me talking, that was me at a former date, and I was showing an email that I would have sent to my entire classroom. It is a little bit cut off in this video. I would need to tinker around a little bit with exactly how I edit it, but it gives links
Later
for.
on our Google Classroom homepage, but for now, please join the classroom below.
Good. So I talked about joining the classroom, gave links and different things like that. But in its essence, I just show my screen to my students or anyone that may be helping a student. So it was a great, great tool to use. And I loved, loved, loved using it so very much. I thought that a tool like this in screencasting could also be a great way to make different tutorials on how to complete assignments, especially if they're through a different source, like an internet game or maybe a new educational tool. I thought Screencastify was a great, great tool. That's why I'm using it again right now as I'm filming this video, and I just know that I will use Screencast so many more times throughout my educational career. Next were formative assessment tools. So, through all my education classes, I have learned so much on formative assessment tools, but I've never touched as much on formative assessment tools that were online. These new online formative assessment tools fall right under the category of my next standard, which was that educators understand and use data to drive their instruction and support students in achieving their learning goals. And that really followed the essence that using technology to design and implement a variety of formative and summative assessments to accommodate learners' needs. So, I knew that there were a lot of formative assessment tools that I could use hands on, and I found out that there were many, many formative assessment tools that I also could use online. So, there are different tools that you can use. There's ones like Socrative, Edpuzzle, Flipgrid, and these are all online formative assessment tools. A tool like Flipgrid asks students to follow videos that their teachers actually create with discussions from the teacher. And then there's tools like Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle allows you to answer questions and even test students, but while watching a video that's already created from a source such as YouTube. The tool allows teachers to write notes, give tips, and give adaptive questions during videos at the specific moments that the question applies to. Personally, all these great tools made me more interested in Edpuzzle. I became so interested in this that I created my project with Edpuzzle for my formative assessment tool project. I found a BrainPop video. BrainPop is a great resource that gives educational videos with a friendly robot and a very smart person. They make very fun videos teaching students about all kind of different sources. So I found a BrainPop video which is already a really fun and engaging source, and I thought Edpuzzle would make it even more engaging and enjoyable. The video pertained to using first person pronouns. So these first person pronouns are such as me and I created questions based on specific moments and information that the video provided, but also questions based on the information and tips within the video that the video actually touched on. And I was hoping that this would make students apply knowledge further than just reciting exactly what the video said. So I wanted to show a little bit of what the video looked like as well. So with Edpuzzle, it stops students in their tracks. While they're watching the video, they cannot go further without answering the question. So they must at least answer the question. And I put on some of the questions that all answers that were provided were correct in case that students may have difficulty with answering the questions. Oh, sorry for the delay in that, but here's the video. So I added that in some questions, all answers were correct because I did not want to penalize students if they did not know a question that may pertain to a inference or a hypothesis that they didn't already know about. But I just wanted to show as soon as I start
Enjoy
the
this
video.
movie, then visit brainpop.com for much more.
So the video starts.